What's going on, everyone? Trust the Buzz here. If you're new to the channel, I make daily Charlotte Hornets content, so if that interests you, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Thank you so much for helping me get over 500. I'm at 515 now. That is crazy. Thank you so much for the support, and go ahead and continue to subscribe and just like the videos and just comment. Thank you so much, because we made it to 515. I couldn't do it without y'all, so this is a team effort. However far I go, I can only go that far because of y'all. So thank you so much, and everything we do is as a group. There's no me, it's us. But anyway, off my soapbox, I just kind of wanted to give you a review of Media Day, just in case you weren't able to follow all the live tweeting and things like that, and just kind of give like my small little opinions here and there. I don't want to go too overboard with the opinions just because it is just Media Day. However, there were some things I liked, so I just kind of want to talk about it. And yeah, and you know, when I do videos like this, when I'm working, of course, I don't have the camera set up, so bear with me. But anyway, some takeaways that I want to talk about from Media Day is how Steve Clifford really impressed me. There was a lot of things he said that I just felt as though they were just the right things to say. Now, granted, Steve Clifford's been around a long time. He's been around the game, but just hearing the motivation from the players. Granted, I haven't seen them on the court. I haven't seen them dribble one ball. We haven't seen practices ran or anything like that. But just hearing the motivation of the players just really surprised me. You had guys really looking to buy in on defense. Terry Rozier was talking about how this is just the best he's felt since he's been in Charlotte, and that he's ready to just give it his all on the defensive end, saying it starts with him. You have LaMelo talking about how he as well wants to, be just better defensively. You have PJ Washington talking about how he is a defender. This is what he's here to do. He's here to be a versatile defender. And Steve Clifford talked, more about that, saying how versatile PJ is and how valuable PJ will be. So I just think overall, Steve Clifford has just done a tremendous job with this team in a such short amount of time. These guys seem really motivated. Does that change my opinion of how I feel about them, trying to make the playoffs? A little. I think it's going to be a lot closer than I thought. If anything, I think we're going to be the best team to not make the playoffs in a good way. I don't think the Hornets are going to go 20 and something. I just think that they just may barely miss out on the play-in or something like that. I don't think it's going to be as bad as I originally thought, because these guys really seem bought in. Now, granted, we got to see it on the court, but it is what it is. A couple things that Steve Clifford also said was that as of right now, Mason Plumlee would be the starting center, and then Nick Richards would be his backup. So where does that leave Mark Williams? Is this more of Steve Clifford doesn't play his young guys, or is this Mark Williams isn't quite ready? And I think it's more so, I really do believe he's protecting Mark Williams in a way. You have a team that is looking to make the playoffs, as they say. And I've always said this since we drafted Mark Williams. It is unfair to ask a rookie to come in and be really the missing piece, because that's what the Hornets, when Miles was there, that is what they were missing, was just a really good center. And so now that you're missing Miles and a coaching change and all these other little things, it's just really tough to ask Mark Williams to come in and be that guy. Now, also, I appreciate them I personally am not the biggest fan of Nick Richards' game, but I do like him getting more minutes, because you can finally see what he is. There's been a lot of times where you get glimpses here and there, and you kind of are just on the fence. With him getting more minutes, more important minutes, I feel like we can really see what Nick Richards is and see how valuable he is and things like that. So I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. I don't think it has anything to do with Steve Clifford not playing his young guys. I really do feel like he's trying to protect Mark Williams. Also, another thing he talked about was James Bouknight, and we can also talk about comments that James Bouknight had. But Steve Clifford said he sees a lot of two-way potential in guys like James Bouknight and JT Thor. And James Bouknight kind of he basically reiterated that, rather, saying how him and Steve Clifford would meet and get together at 8 a.m. to watch film, and how James Bouknight is buying in, and how he feels like Steve Clifford really is buying into him and want to help him be a good player. And he was saying that it just feels good to have a guy to believe in him. He said that that takes your game to another level. And I mean, there's only so much I could say, but it's just hearing these guys talk and rave about Steve Clifford is just, to me, the most fascinating thing I could take away from this media day. You know, it really does have me excited for the team because of the fact that my biggest thing is I've always just wanted the Hornets to play hard. Has always been my thing, was that I wish they would just play hard and play to their full potential and give it all on their court, because they have the talent. Now, I keep saying Miles is missing or whatever, but I don't know, they still have the talent, because you're missing a 20 PPG, guy, but you have guys that can kind of fill in that role, and I've never said that they couldn't fill that role. It's more so, once again, it's unfair to ask guys who barely played last year, like JT Thor, like Kai Jones, like James Bouknight, Bryce McGowan, who's a rookie, Mark Williams to come in, all those guys, even PJ to just, and I say PJ just because he's the one who's going to take a biggest change in role. Not saying that he's like one of the young guys or anything like that, but it's unfair. It's the reality of it. It's how the NBA works. But let's be real about it. It is unfair that, like, in a switch of a hat, you're expecting these guys to. You're not asking. You're expecting. Your season is based on these guys being able to replace the production and just the game that Miles brought, because Miles brought more than just his points, and that's a whole different video for another day, but it's unfair, the reality of it. But I don't know, it had me hopeful for the team. Another thing Steve Clifford said is, let's not try to go ahead and pinpoint what defines a successful season. I thought that was really big of him, just to say, like, hey, we're just really just going to go out here and play and see where the season takes us. I just feel like he got these guys in the right mindset. I really feel like he got these guys in the right mindset to really just go out there and play as hard as they can. And then who knows, by trade deadline, instead of us selling, we're buying. We've seen that last 2 years. The Hornets were 6th, 5th, 4th at times, and then they would just come down and fall to 10th. So this year, I feel like we're going to be scraping the bottom and be at 10th, 9th, but who knows? This team plays hard. We win a couple games that we shouldn't win. We're down and they come back or something like that, or just play defense down the stretch and they win. And then, boom, we're a trade away from these guys, from using the young guys and just trade one of them away. And boom, you have a guy who can, help you right now and then put you over the top and just make the playoffs. I don't think Charlotte Hornet fans are asking anything like, hey, let's be superstars and let's go out there and let's be a 3rd seed. No, we just want to make the playoffs and just maybe fight a little bit in the playoffs. So we're not even asking for a first, go into the 2nd round. If you can be in the 1st round and those games are close, we can get swept for all I care, but those games are close, I'm okay with that right now, and then hopefully it gets better and better. Yeah, and then also another thing, just really small. I know I posted a Jello video earlier, which y'all really enjoyed, so thank you so much for just watching that. But Steve Clifford also just talked about how Jello was just a guy who likes to work hard, and we all know if you work hard, you're going to have a space. You're going to have a place, rather, with Steve Clifford. And I don't know that, I'm not saying he's automatically just going to be on the roster, but I'm just saying that it's good to hear that he is willing to put in the work and that Steve Clifford acknowledges that. And then also we were talking about guys like Kai Jones, where Steve Clifford was saying that he sees Kai Jones as a 5. He's a guy who works hard. He's a guy who, also has two-way ability. Kai Jones said that himself. However, Steve Clifford said that he needs to just learn how to play the best of his ability, which is something Kai, I feel as though, struggles with, and just also how to play what version of himself to bring out when you have a certain group of guys, a certain group of, a certain personnel on the court. So I thought that was interesting as well. This guy just knows basketball, and that's what I really appreciate about him. And he really got these guys excited. Gordon Hayward just talked about a lot of hoping he's healthy, which I don't know. I'm over Gordon Hayward, and his haircut, but he's a leader, and he leads by example. And my biggest thing is, if you're going to lead by example, I need you to be on the court so you can lead by example. But it's just going to be interesting to see what this team brings. But I'm excited. I'm really excited. And Steve Clifford has just, it seems like he's flipped a switch. And I really wish we had a more overall talented team, or we can even say overall more proven team, because I feel like we have a lot of talent. It's just not proven talent. I wish we had a more proven team, because a guy like Steve Clifford coaching a more proven man, I would just feel like it would just be an exciting team. But anyway, that does it for this video. I have to get back to work. I know, lame. But anyway, thank you so much for helping me. Well, helping us get to 515. That is crazy. At least that's what I'm at right now. I'm recording this video. You already know that I also, don't have the video up. I do have a video talking about Dennis Smith Jr., talking about just like introducing him to the team and whatnot, like my player profiles. So make sure you look out for that. I'll probably release it tomorrow. And just some real quick stuff about Dennis Smith Jr. Dennis Smith Jr. also says Steve Clifford made him, bought into him as well. So Steve Clifford makes Dennis Smith Jr. feels as though he is trying to actually help him get better, and he's never had that. So like I said, Steve Clifford's just making a huge impact on these guys, and you love to see it. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.